Eagles are alive. Work to be done next week for both these teams. Dallas could still get in, but so much momentum with the team in green as they win 17-9. 9 points for America's team. Here's Carson Wentz after one of the biggest wins of his career.
Big win for us. Big win for us. The crowd was electric tonight. You know, it felt like playoff atmosphere. Just like we said the last few weeks, our backs were against the wall, and guys made plays. Defense played great. Offensively, we definitely left some plays and some points out there. But man, it feels good to get this victory.
And this is a great offense. They can score points, and to keep them out of the end zone, hold them to 3 kicks like they did, stop them on some 4th downs. Hats off to the defense, Coach Schwartz and his staff for having a great game plan.
When you get yourself technically in a spot to kind of come into a Philadelphia team that's got the players they've got, even though they had missing a lot of them, when you get in this spot, you give yourself a chance to be real disappointed. We are. The fact that we didn't get any scores, the fact the game turned out the way it did, they played well. I'm not allowed to say about anything else other than it's very disappointing. We all expected to leave here as the NFC's champs. We're not.
No, Jerry, you're not. The Cowboys didn't even score a touchdown, as he just said. Wentz got the job done with players who were on the practice squad. And we're looking at the playoff picture here. Eagles move into first place in the East. They don't have it locked up yet. They can lock it up with a win over the Giants in Week 17. The boys can still win the division if the Eagles do lose that game and if they beat the Redskins Week 17 on Sunday. Just a programming note for everyone. Last night, the NFL did announce that both Week 17 matchups, the Redskins at Cowboys and the Eagles at Giants, have both been changed from 1 p.m. starts to 4:25 p.m. Eastern starts. So, hey, Nate.
Yeah.
What happened to the Cowboys?
It's an unfortunate end to what could have been an amazing season. Now, I know things need to shake out this last game of the year, but I was convinced that Dak Prescott and the Cowboys were going to roll over the Eagles. When you look at Dak Prescott's full starts, he's 5-1 up against the Eagles. So I assumed with the advantages that they had, we're talking history, how much he played them, and what he did when he played them, and then health. History and health will tell me that they will beat these guys. They didn't have what it takes to move on. As much of a physical advantage that they had in this game, they were mentally weaker. And I don't want these guys to get my words twisted. I don't want you to sit there and say, come on, Nate, you played the game. You calling me a weak individual. I'm not saying that. Collectively as a team, the hungrier squad won, and that was the Eagles in this one. You would have thought, if history tells me I'm better than you, health on the roster, we got more superstars in the lineup, we're going to come in with a fierceness to us. And they did not have that. And it's unfortunate.
I was watching the NFL Network on Saturday with this great triple header, and at halftime of the 3rd game, so we're talking about the NFL Network for 12 hours, it's been showing football. Steve Smith is up there, and we're promoting a Michael Irvin sit-down with Ezekiel Elliott. Sure. And Steve Smith is making this face. Why are we interviewing a running back from a 6-7 team that's irrelevant right now? And you could see the producers out there in Culver probably like, hey, we got the running back of the Dallas Cowboys before their biggest game of the season. So Steve Smith, this isn't like the Cowboys aren't good. I'm watching the game yesterday. I'm like, we're going to start the show tomorrow with Cowboys talk, aren't we?
Either way.
They haven't been good all season. We weren't going to magically turn it on because they beat the Rams a couple of weeks ago. And if you look at Dak Prescott, I know we have a lot of Dak apologists out there. We have a lot of Dak fans. He's a great guy. He's betting on himself. Dak Prescott yesterday did not have it. And Dak Prescott hasn't had it a lot this season. 4 different road games, 4 different road losses. Saints, Jets, Patriots, and now Eagles. Dak Prescott did not throw a touchdown pass. I don't know what to tell you. If you go 0 for 4 in those 4 games and don't score a touchdown in any of those nationally televised football games, I'm not sure it's going to suddenly click when you need them most. Dak didn't have it. The offense didn't have it. 9 points?
9 points.
The plane, the jet, that didn't have it. I mean, none of it was there.
Philly will probably get in. Good job. But for Dallas, we've seen a lot of Cowboys football. I think this is the worst loss of their worst season of my lifetime. I really mean it. And Jessica Simpson was not in the stands. T.O. was not crying afterwards. But at least that team was in the playoffs. All right, everything we've ever seen from these Cowboys. Slow start, down 10-0. 14 yards of offense in the first quarter. Then there's a 3rd and 1 where it's a big play in Eagles territory, and Zeke Elliott, who is the highest paid running back in the history of the sport, is not in the game. It's a Tony Pollard fumble. Then there's a 4th in the season inexplicably, we saw it on the highlight, Amari Cooper, your star, is not on the field. And it's, oh, they sat him down. He was not part of the rotation. We rotated him out. Can you imagine the Saints and Sean Payton not having Michael Thomas rotated in? Better yet, can you imagine Michael Irvin not being rotated in during the Super Bowl Dallas Cowboys? It's idiotic. And just no touchdown, no juice, no heat, no nothing. It couldn't be more perfect. I know Rap Sheet's going to get into it. They had to stay at the link for a while to wait for their plane. Is that not the most absolutely gorgeous metaphor? This giant, beautiful charter jet that can't get off the freaking ground and is grounded in Philadelphia. I am so excited not to talk about this Cowboys team anymore. Steve Smith was right. Go Philly.
All of the veins coming out of your head.
I can't do it. 16 weeks of this crap.
And they sputtered out the gate, too. You're talking about things that happened late in the game, but Zeke had 5 carries for 9 yards in the first half of this one. And if you're a team and you're heavily expected to win a game and you go into the second half and you're down, you sort of start sputtering out of control and it gets into your head a little bit. Is it the play calling? Is it the O-line? Is it Dak?
It's a combination of all these things. But, Kyle, I have to address something. You mentioned the guys on the sideline. Amari Cooper sitting on the sideline on that 4th down. Zeke Elliott sitting down on crucial downs. Amari said after the game, I wasn't hurt. Yeah. So you can throw that away. Jason Garrett said they were out of the rotation.
That last play, Randall Cobb was also on the sidelines.
Or they needed to rest. Let me say this, and let me be clear, and take this criticism constructively. This isn't just for the Cowboys. This is for anybody in the league, and I see this a lot. A guy makes a big play. He runs down the field, and he looks to the sideline. He does one of these. Bro, what are you doing? You guys are getting paid millions of dollars. I get it. You tired. There's no load management in an NFL game, especially if you're getting paid or you want to get paid. If you're on the field and you're one of the players that they depend on, you better be tired, exhausted, and still be out there. I remember games where I broke my rib, went to the sideline, I heard it clicking. I said, can I hurt it anymore? My trainer said, no. I'm going back in the game. He grabbed my jersey, get off me. 4th quarter, I'm breathing hard. I feel like my heart is jumping out my chest. I look to the sideline, and I want to desperately wave somebody in to get me. But I'm thinking in my head, they pay me a ton of money. The people and the fans, the checks clearing. I'm about to go out there at 60, 70%, whatever it is. I'm going to try to make a play. Let that be the standard for I hate it. I don't even like using it. I hate it when a player runs down the field and looks, what are you training for? What are you out there running for? What do you do conditioning for? You should have the endurance to stick in there in the game. And some of the best players, you guys are still good at 75, 80%. Just stop doing that. In the moments that matter, the best players on the sideline, if the coach tells you to come to the sideline, you tell him no and go make a play for your team.
My man.
Well said by Nate. We'll be talking about this one and the entire NFC playoff picture all morning long. The Cowboys can still win the division. That said, if the Eagles lose on Sunday and if they beat the Redskins in Week 17. Ian Rappaport's with us now. Let's talk more about these struggles for the Cowboys, not just offensively, but actually taking off on Sunday. What can you tell us about the team's trip back to Dallas?
Yeah, as if the night couldn't get any worse for the Dallas Cowboys. Listen what happened, and in this case, seems like it comes from the metaphor department, just pure ridiculousness. So the Cowboys are at the Lincoln Financial Field. They're getting ready to go to the airport. They find out that their charter plane going to take the team and all the other people who are in their traveling party is not viable. So they have to sit at the stadium and wait. And it wasn't just a couple minutes. It wasn't one of those 20-minute mechanical failures where you get on the plane and everything is fine. This was hours and hours, and they actually considered a couple options, including finding new pilots, taking a smaller plane, leaving some people back in Philly and having them get back at another time, which I'm sure would have been just pure misery for the sponsors and whoever else is part of the traveling party. So then at about 10:35 Eastern time, they finally found out their plane actually was going to be okay. The original plane, they finally boarded, trudged onto the plane, ended up landing around 2 a.m., so they had to go through that loss, deal with that, and then sit at the Lincoln Financial Field, wait, and get back in the wee hours of the morning. Just terrible.
It is absolutely terrible. I had a similar situation leaving Tampa, and I'm trying to think of who's more mad, like Dak Prescott or Kyle Brandt, that the live TV wasn't working, that we were sitting on the tarmac for a long time. Kyle, what do you think?
I was cracking skulls, Kay. It's me. It was a tough weekend.
It was rough. It was rough. Good. I'm telling you, nobody likes to talk about travel, but it was not fun. Bye. Oh, okay, great. So I'll talk to you later. Ian will talk to you more about Mark Ingram, updates on Lamar Jackson. We've got more highlights from the AFC side of things. Did Lamar show us a little weakness in the first half against the Browns?
What? Never.
Weakness?
I heard he wanted to get out of the game. She's tired, Nate. Did you hear that?
We'll get an update on Mark Ingram, and the Chiefs try and keep themselves in position to have a first-round bye. They're looking pretty balanced, Riggs.
Yeah, the defense showing up again.
Good Morning Football is presented by QuickBooks. You earned it.